कैस्पर, IRD के कैस्पर, मेरा परमानेंट विंगमैन और obnoxious रूममेट। आप सब कैस्पर को तो बहुत अच्छे तरीके से जानते होंगे। Too many of you have asked me to make a video on Casper क्योंकि आप सबको इस glorified आम की गुठली और लड्डू से बहुत प्यार हो गया है। But first, let's talk about how Casper came into my life. My mom and I brought Casper home in the beginning of 2021. मुझे हमेशा से जानवरों से बहुत प्यार रहा है and I had a few pets growing up, but I was too young to actually remember them. मेरी अम्मी को कुत्तों से बहुत डर लगता है because of an incident from when she was a kid, और नानी घर के अंदर बिल्ली रखने पर राज़ी बिल्कुल भी नहीं थी। तो ऐसा कौन सा जानवर था जो मैं आराम से घर में पाल सकती थी? And that's when a friend of mine said, ओए तुम तोता क्यों नहीं रखती? तोता? Like a lot of people, I grew up with the misconception that birds were extremely passive and also difficult to live with. I also didn't like the idea of bringing a bird home and keeping it locked in a cage all the time. मैंने सोचा चलो पूछने में क्या हर्ज है, and it turns out दोनों को हर किस्म के birds बहुत अच्छे लगते हैं. So I did my research and looked up different parrot breeds and the amount of care that would go into raising them. There are actually an overwhelming amount of bird care forums online that teach you how to properly care for each breed. So what exactly is bird care? Well, most general bird care is the same, so it applies to most if not all breeds of small parrots. There are some things you should absolutely never let your bird ingest. It's like poison to them. You can't let them chew on anything they choke on. And ceiling fans are always evil. In a few months, I was fully prepared to adopt a bird. So, जिस दिन मैं और मेरी अम्मी दुकान गए थे तोते को लेने के लिए, I didn't have a cockatiel in mind. In fact, I didn't even know that they'd be available. I thought I'd be better off with a budgie because वो और छोटे होते हैं and they're slightly easier to take care of. जब हम दुकान पहुँचे, वहाँ हमें एक overstuffed छोटे से केज में एक मेला गुस्से से भरा हुआ लड्डू मिला, और जब दुकानदार ने इस लड्डू को बाहर निकाला, ये मेरे साथ चिपक गया और उतरने का नाम ना ले. So really, मैंने कैस्पर को चूज़ नहीं किया, इसने मुझे किया था. When Casper first moved into my room, he was terrified. He didn't leave his cage for a week. He'd always move around in his cage and you wouldn't actually see him walk. He'd just show up in a new spot. थोड़ा creepy था, but थोड़ा cute भी, so that's where the name Casper actually comes from. I had to look up different music that would soothe him, and that's when I actually made him his own playlist that I still use from time to time when he throws fits. When we first got Casper, we had to get his wings trimmed as well. One, because the flight feathers he had already grown were undernourished and slightly bent, so we needed to make space for new feathers to grow. And number two, because इसको उड़ना आता नहीं था, ये जब ज़ोर से वैसे ही पैर हिलाता था, गलती से गिर जाता था और फिर रोता था. So Casper's been in my life for more than a year now. Whenever I'm at home, इसका काम है मेरे साथ चिपक जाना. He's even comfortably perched on me right now while I type out the script for this video. And it's not just me he's attached to. Casper loves sitting in my mom's lap whenever she's in the room. I sometimes walk into my room और वो इसको अपने पास बिठाकर इसके साथ लाड कर रही होती हैं. जी Casper, जी माँ सदके, आप कितने प्यारे हो. You're such a handsome bird. You're so pretty. मैं भी काशिक तोता होती. As Casper grew, so did his inner narcissist and brat. He will not compromise on sleep. Because of this, my grandmother, who has officially adopted Casper as घर का सबसे छोटा grandchild, actually stitched him a tent for his cage. मेरा पुराना स्वेटर अभी तक नहीं knit हुआ, मगर ये हो गया. Casper is so small, but he has such a big personality for a little bird. And honestly, that's why he's my best friend. I'm so glad that you guys have come to love Casper as much as I do. He is a huge part of my life, and as much as I complain about his bratty behavior, I don't think I'd be able to spend a single day without him.